Good morning, Kansas City. I love having a hype man. That was awesome. So as he said, my name is John Doherty, and I know it's 8:30 in the morning, and we're talking about SEO, and yeah, one person's excited out here. So I'm going to talk today about the SEO process that will actually grow your business. So I'm an SEO professional. I've been in SEO for about a decade now. Now I more call myself an entrepreneur than anything, but that basically means I'm a professional nerd. Straight up. I actually have some glasses that look just like that. So that means I geek out about some weird things. And this, you might not geek out about these at all. You might not geek out about these until you've had some coffee. I've had a lot of coffee right now, so I'm pretty jazzed up. I geek about things like algorithm changes, right? Who cares about algorithm changes? I get super excited about them. Character counts, unless you're a copywriter, who cares? Click-through rate curves, I love seeing the differences. If you rank number 1, how many more clicks do you get than you rank number 2, mobile, desktop, etc. They're weird things. Like I said, I'm a professional nerd. So here's an example of me being a professional nerd. I was browsing the internet the other day. I was in Virginia visiting my parents. I live in Denver, visiting my parents for my dad's retirement party, and I went to church with them. And sometimes when I look through search results, I notice some weird things, and I go, huh, I wonder why that is. I wonder what that means. So as I said, I was at church with my parents, and the pastor referenced Pliny the Younger, which if you're a beer geek like me, you know that's a really good beer. I have some cheers over here with coffee. Is that Pliny? No, he wishes. If you had one, I'd ask where you got it. So I remember this is a beer that I really liked when I lived in San Francisco. And so I searched it on my phone, right, sitting in your phone, that's what you do, and I noticed this. Pliny the Younger, it's by Russian River Brewing, and it said, no information is available for this page, yet it was ranking number 1. So I'm like, what the heck is going on here? And basically what this website is doing is they're blocking their entire site from Googlebot, right, the search engine crawler from Google, and you all know Google. There's also this search engine called Bing, but we don't talk about Bing in the SEO world. They're blocking their entire site from being indexed by Google, or they're telling Google not to index it. Google is saying, actually, we think you're wrong on this. We're still going to rank you. This is a problem for Russian River Brewing, right? If you know anything about SEO, you know that if Google can't crawl your site, they normally can't rank you unless they say, we think you're wrong. So, you know, they're ranking for some things. Basically, they're ranking for their own branded terms. They're ranking for nothing else, right? Best IPA. You're not going to find them. So they are literally leaving money on the table here. I see these sorts of issues all the time. As I said, I'm an SEO. I do some SEO consulting. I help businesses find the right SEO agency or digital marketing provider to work with. But we're kind of like dentists. Who here enjoys going to the dentist? 1, 2, I see like a handful of people. I actually love my dentist, but I don't really, well, in the past, I didn't go to my dentist, you know, every 6 months. I didn't do what I was supposed to. Now I do. But like the other week, I cracked a tooth. And so I had to go and I had to see the dentist. He's like, John, I just saw you a month ago. I'm like, I know, I cracked my tooth. He's like, okay, here we go. So consultants are kind of like dentists. SEOs are kind of like dentists. Businesses come to us when your business is suffering, right? You may talk about it as our rankings are suffering, or you know, we're not getting enough opt-ins to our email list, or we're not, but often it's not, we're not making enough money. There's a weird echo going on in here. Sorry, it's a little distracting, but marketers are expensive to hire. Point blank, the average marketer, average consultant charges around $150 an hour. The average project they take on is anywhere from $1,400 to $2,000 a month minimum, so that's a decent chunk of marketing budget for a lot of companies. So my question is, what if we could flip the script on this, and instead of you going to an SEO consultant or you just jumping in to do SEO when you see that something is going wrong, right? Where did 50% of our traffic go? Because of an algorithm change. See, sometimes it pays to be a nerd. What if we could flip that and do proactive SEO, and we could actually talk about how you make money doing SEO, and you can actually get ahead of the curve and do proactive things so that you can grow your business over time, and that channel keeps on growing. It keeps on setting a good base of revenue for you that you can then invest into other things. Does anyone think that would be fun? Because otherwise I'm going to get off the stage. All right, people think it would be fun. Cool. I was going to go find a Pliny the Younger with that guy. So this is possible, and that's what I'm going to talk about today. So who I am real quick, I'm the founder of getcreator.com, been in SEO for about 10 years. I live in Colorado with my wife Courtney and my dog Butterbean. I've personally seen about $14 million worth of work come through my platform in the last couple years, and sold over 600K of SEO consulting work myself. So I know how to do this stuff, and I exclusively work on Credo and large sites. This is Butterbean. He's a 100-pound black lab Great Dane. He's about 4 years old. I'd call him an overgrown puppy because he still acts like he's about 3 months old. I'm going to talk a little bit about him near the end of this talk. So one thing I run into a lot is people come to me. So I literally had a company come to me, a startup come to me about 6 months ago, and I was talking to them, and they're like, you know, we know that SEO is a long-term thing. We know that it involves a good investment, and we have to do our technical right, and we have to do our content right, and we have to do good promotion. But we really just need you to tell us the 6 things that we need to do in order to grow our business. I'm like, wait a minute, you're completely getting it wrong here, right? They're wanting like the top. These are just a couple things that you should do right now that are going to get you most of the way there. I get that. I also want to get the most bang for my buck. I want to get the most results out of the least effort. Inherently, I think I'm actually a lazy person. My wife might disagree. But there's no magic button there. There's no magic button that we can mash, right? I'd love to swap out my enter key and hit the easy button and go like lay in my hammock or something like that, right? Go hiking in the Rockies. But it's not possible. But SEO is also not rocket science. Sorry, this is one of my favorite memes, sad Elon, because he's like the opposite of a sad guy. He's actually fascinating. But SEO isn't rocket science. That guy, well, he has people working for him that do rocket science. So if you have a good base of knowledge, why doesn't SEO get done? I saw this tweet last night, literally last night. Of course, I was working on my deck last night. And it said this. I don't know this Twitter account. I don't know what else is there. So if you go there and there's something raunchy or something, not my fault. But it said, people think they need more knowledge, when in reality, they need to implement the knowledge they already possess. Because active implementation of knowledge requires real work. They procrastinate by reading more stuff while thinking that they're doing something productive. I'm completely guilty of this. I suspect many of you are as well. This is why this guy is an ancient sage, or maybe woman. I can't really tell what that is. It actually looks like a Lego character. I read things instead of actually doing the work, right? Doing the work is actually really, really hard. But doing the work also doesn't have to be super complicated. So we get distracted by shiny objects. I get distracted by shiny objects all the time. If you're like me and you click on blog posts and Twitter and whatever and start reading those, then you're like, wait, what was I working on now? And why do I have like 50 tabs open? And why does my laptop sound like it's going to like take off like a helicopter? I use a Chrome extension called Pocket. Save it to Pocket, pull it up on your phone when you're on a plane or, you know, avoiding doing something else. But we get distracted by shiny objects. Things like rankings and algorithm changes and that sort of stuff. Sometimes it doesn't pay to be a geek. So why doesn't SEO get the budget of paid acquisition? If any of you work in SEO, just do SEO, sell SEO services, that sort of thing, or just work internally and you're not working on paid acquisition, you might be like, wait, why is the paid team getting like $50,000 a month and I can barely get like 3? It's a constant struggle in my world. And if you've ever, I've wondered a lot why SEO doesn't get done internally. I've wondered a lot why SEO doesn't get budget. I don't pay my mortgage or my employees in links and canonicals. Straight up. Let me know if you do, because I'd love to learn your secret. Maybe you're selling links. I guess that's one way to pay your mortgage in links and canonicals. Don't sell links or buy links. But we talk about SEO in the language of links and canonicals and algorithm changes, those sorts of things. We don't talk about SEO enough in terms of money. How much money can you make from SEO? I don't know about y'all. I enjoy being able to pay my mortgage. I enjoy making more money from SEO. You know, and I enjoy seeing businesses grow as well from doing good SEO. So everything at your job should map back to revenue, right? Links equals audience. I talk about audience, I don't talk about links. Links help you rank better, which leads to more audience. Canonicals give you a better user experience, which leads to better conversions. Make more money. Blog posts are more potential customers and better conversions, AKA you're making more money. That's what executives care about ultimately, and that's what you, if you're doing SEO, either for your own company or for someone else's company, if you're an employee, that's what you should be talking about. So show me the money. What we do as marketers is grow businesses. That should be ultimately what we do. You're not a blog post writer. You might be a writer, but you're not writing blog posts just to write blog posts, just to publish something on the internet, hopefully. we have to point the way. We have to point the way for our clients, for our bosses, et cetera, about how we actually get SEO done. So today I'm going to talk about the SEO process that works. As I said, this is something that I've honed over the last number of years, talking to a lot of businesses, working for clients, working in-house. I used to run marketing and SEO at a couple of Zillow's properties. I'm sure you all know Zillow. I ran marketing for hotpads.com, and then on Trulia Rentals, ran growth, SEO, email, content, that sort of thing there. And so I've seen this work both across small companies, small B2B person companies, all the way up to huge publicly traded companies with over 100 million pages in Google's index. So this works. So there are really just 3 steps that are part of this process. Fairly simple. As I said, it doesn't have to be complicated. First is squaring away your technical foundation. I know if you're not a developer, you're going to be like, oh, this is boring, but it's actually kind of fun, and you can actually learn how to do it as well. Then second, we're expanding our keyword set through keyword research and content creation. And then third, we're improving our rankings through promotion and link acquisition. And once again, think about this in the context of we're making more revenue for our businesses. So get your technical foundation right. This is point number 1. Point blank, if you're creating content and you're building links, but your site's not crawlable, like Russian River Brewing, you're not going to do nearly as well as you could. Cracked foundation is really bad news. This is obviously a house that's falling down. My wife and I actually just bought a house. And it's an 1895 like colonial house in Denver, and we went under contract for it, and we got an inspection done, and the inspector comes back, and they're like, there's like $50,000 worth of foundation work here that needs to be done, and we're like, all right, let's negotiate back. We negotiated back. Person was like, nope, sorry, we're not going to fix that. We'll fix like the fence, and I'm like, no, all right, we're out. 2 days later, they came back, and they're like, okay. What's it going to take to keep you in the deal? I'm like, remember that foundation thing? And there's like 4 other things. You do that, and we're in. And they're like, okay, great. So they fixed the foundation. We bought the house, right? House is going to fall down on us now. Cracked foundation is a really bad thing. So first thing you want to do is go and do an audit of your website. Audit sounds scary. Audits are expensive if you pay someone to do it. As much as you can do yourself is good. So go and do an audit of your website. Look at how deep are your pages on your website. How many 404s you have on your website, right? Using things like Search Console and SEMrush. This is a screenshot from DeepCrawl. DeepCrawl is a crawler tool that I use. Another one called Screaming Frog, which is like $150 a year, based out of the UK. I think it's 149 pounds a year, so it's like $80, something like that. Use these tools to understand the main technical issues on your website, right? And then prioritize in order of the largest number of issues affecting the broadest number of pages, the issues you can solve with relatively small effort, and then third, issues that are keeping users from converting, things like page speed, which also affects SEO, and we'll talk about that later. And then proactively, right, so I would actually say do this, do a crawl like this, do an audit like this every 12 to 18 months. Even if you're in-house, because websites are constantly changing. This is actually a crawl from my own website. Because I've rolled out a lot of stuff over the last couple of years and hadn't done an audit on my own website. And so I learned a lot. There's actually some stuff there not in XML sitemaps. Actually isn't true. I just forgot to submit that separate sitemap. But do this every 12 to 18 months. Proactively looking for it. Okay, what has changed on my site? What can I go and fix in order to see more results, even if your traffic is still growing? If it's gone flat, then definitely look at it. And then proactively set up a Moz campaign or an SEMrush campaign. I know SEMrush is here. Shout out to them, one of my favorite tools. Set up a proactive campaign here to alert you to changes that are happening on your site. Get an email every single week, duplicate content discovered, 404s discovered, that sort of thing. These are like $100 a month, something like that. They can actually make you a lot of money, right? Think of it as an investment, not as an expense. As I said, even pros make changes that hurt a business. Proactively audit your website about every 12 to 18 months. Look at things like for example, there on the right, I found that the majority of my pages are about 5 clicks deep off the homepage. If you know SEO, you know that they should really be about 3, right? So I made some changes, and now if I redid this, that would have shifted to the left. And they're all now mostly 3 to 4 steps deep, which is awesome. And then prioritize these fixes by business impact. Once again, remember, business impact is what we're going for here. This is literally a screenshot of I really hope I redacted out their name as well, one of my old clients that this was our basically running sheet of things that we needed to do in order to fix, right? And you can see that we basically went, the title of it, put the task in Asana, the resource that was needed, the effort and the impact. And then they had it same like Asana priority, but basically you're looking for low effort, high impact. So effort 1, impact 5. Effort 2, impact 4. And literally order it like that. I think we changed, green is already done, and then we changed the order down there at the bottom. He's a couple years old, but this is literally what we did in order to go down. You can also use Trello to do this. What I showed you the screenshot from DeepCrawl earlier, I literally have all those changes in Trello, and I have them ordered for my developer to go through and just tackle all of them. So that can work really, really well. Also, full disclosure, my wife works for Trello, but I've used it since it launched, basically. And then grab the low-hanging fruit, right? Everyone loves the low-hanging fruit. Whenever I start off with a new client or I'm talking to a company, everyone wants to know what are the things that we can do. Once again, like that startup that came to me 6 months ago, what are the things that we can do that are the lowest effort for the highest impact? I get it, and you should absolutely grab those. Right? A lot of site errors, page templates that have no H1s, H2s, that sort of thing. No on-page targeting going on there. Pages with no content, right? Or pages that have no content that shouldn't even be in the index. Pages that are not well linked, that should be, right? You saw all of mine that were level 5, now level 3. I linked to them better, and my traffic has been improving again. XML sitemaps that have a lot of non-200 URLs in them. That sort of thing. Those fixes are pretty easy to make, depending, of course, on the scale of your website and your technology and that sort of thing. But these are the things that can show the biggest impact. So this could show big improvements. This is an old client of mine that, they had ticked along, and I'm sure you guys have all used this site before, and they were ticking along there, a couple million visits a month. And they came to me because we started right around here, January. Their traffic had gone flat, and then it started going down. And I jump in, and I do an audit, right? I use DeepCrawl, and realize that their largest number of pages, they've over 1 million pages in the index, and then went international, so there was a lot more. They had no H1s, H2s. They weren't telling the search engines what these pages were about, and these were ranking for some of the biggest terms in entertainment on the internet. So we literally added in H1s and H2s, and we saw a 3x increase over the next 4 months. Once again, very specific scenario, but it worked, and this is the power of basic on-page optimization. So look there. But don't get caught there. Don't get caught grabbing the low-hanging fruit. This is a screenshot. I'll just say it's hotpads.com, which I worked on. And so you can see that they had grown well, and then their traffic took a beating beginning of January 2013. I started around October 2013. Traffic went back up. That was about a 40 to 50% increase over the next couple months in traffic. But then look at this. This was like, at the time, this was a huge bump. And we're like, okay, that's awesome. And then it went kind of flat. Some things were going out. We're investing constantly in content and links and that sort of stuff. I'll show you some of that here in a minute. And look at where they are now. They're absolutely killing it. I had nothing to do with them after about right here. But the SEO manager there, the growth manager there, has kept constantly working on SEO initiatives there internally. And their traffic is absolutely insane now. So don't stop on the low-hanging fruit, because there's a lot more opportunity out there. Number 2, expand your keyword set with research and content. How am I doing on time? Shoot, I gotta run. Split your keywords into 2 groups. It amazes me how people don't understand that within keyword research for SEO, there are transactional keywords and there are informational keywords. Transactional keywords make you money. Informational keywords drive you audience. The best tool to use for keyword research is a question I get all the time. It's the one you're actually going to use. It's the one you actually have a subscription to. I subscribe to all 3 of these. Pick your poison. They're all really good. So as I said, transactional versus informational. Transactional keywords, high purchase intent. You rank for these. Someone comes to your site. They're more likely to buy. High cost per click if you buy ads against it. Perfect for product pages, services pages, those sorts of things. Informational keywords, they're higher in or category pages. Don't forget that one, especially if you're like an e-commerce site. Informational keywords, they're higher in the funnel, higher in volume in the long tail, so these pages can rank for a lot of terms, right? Not just one specific term, and they're perfect for content. As I said, these are the goals, transactional versus informational. This deck will be online afterwards, by the way, on my SideShare account. So transactional keywords are a combination, you're looking for a combination of volume and cost per click. The higher the volume, the lower the cost per click. Well, higher the cost per click is the more profitable they're going to be. It also means they're going to be more competitive. SEMrush also has a keyword difficulty number in there, so you can basically gauge how competitive it's going to be. So you want the ones, you want to rank, of course, for the keywords that are high volume, high cost per click, but in the interim, while you're still building up your site, building links, et cetera, high volume, low to medium cost per click, right? Because they're still going to make you money, and then over time you can rank for the ones that are that cost more to buy. For the B2B crowd, this one was crazy. I was looking at this G2 crowd. I was looking at their site last night in, I believe this is SEMrush. And like CRM software costs $50.88 to buy a click, right? You better make a lot of money from those people. ERP software, $85.96, right? Those are expensive keywords to buy, but there are a bunch of others in there that you can rank for. Animation software, $1.70, right? Might not be as profitable, but you can still make money from it. As I said, informational keywords are great at driving volume in the top of the funnel. They're part of the conversion funnel, right? The whole marketing funnel start at the top, audience, awareness, all the way down to conversion. But they won't make you money directly usually. These are terms like how to do whatever, how much does blah, 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 how do I do a thing. And you can target all these with content. These are great for your brand, right? This is Moz.com. I'm sure you guys all know Moz, right? They're ranking for things like what is SEO, ranking number 2. They're ranking for 301, like 301 redirect. So these are all informational queries that their potential audience is ranking for, but they're not going to convert directly into subscribers usually. But don't sell your execs on traffic when they want to see the money. And then, of course, plan out your hierarchy. I'm not going to talk about this too much. I have a post on my site, getcreator.com, about this. But plan out your hierarchy so that main features, feature 1, 2, 3, those are your transactional keywords. Those should be 1, 2 clicks from your homepage max. And then content, informational queries, right? They're longer tail, a lot of volume there, not as competitive to rank for. So have those in a blog section, a resources section, something like that. So that's for audience. And then, of course, your about page is for conversion. Don't neglect your about page. And then how do you tackle the terms you find? This is talking about informational queries. You have really 2 options. Build it yourself, which is going to take a lot of time. If you're a great writer and you love doing it, I love to write. In my spare time, I write. I actually wrote a pirate novel a few years ago, which was kind of fun. But just a random fact about John, if anyone cared. But if you have time and expertise, this can be a great way to do it, right? But it's going to take a lot more time to develop all that content. If you have the budget, you can acquire it, right? I told the other day that they should acquire one of their content competitors because they had all of this content and they weren't putting out much new. I'm like, they're probably open to an acquisition. Buy that stuff, put it on your site, redirect the old site to yours, and all of a sudden you're going to be getting all that traffic. So don't just keep yourself in the box of, okay, we have to build it, we have to hire writers, we have to hire, et cetera. Sometimes you can buy it and it gets you there a lot faster. Number 3, improve rankings with what did I say there? With great promotion, rankings and traffic. So links are the currency of SEO. I'm sure you all know this. Everyone talks about backlinks when they're talking about SEO. Just call them links, don't call them backlinks. No one that works in SEO actually calls them backlinks. And if someone emails you saying they'll sell you backlinks, don't do it. So Google created this problem for themselves. Google, of course, got traction because they were the first search engine to rank websites off of links. Links are votes, is basically what Google says. They've been working to fix this over the last number of years because it's been gamed really heavily through an algorithm change called Penguin, which has rolled out multiple times, is now part of the main algorithm. Manual penalties to sites that are egregiously buying links and doing manipulative things. But they are still the strongest correlated factor. So you need links to rank for your website, point blank. Rank better, more conversions, more money. Circle. But as I said, they're increasingly a smaller part of the puzzle. User intent is becoming much bigger of a player. Dwell time is what people call it, right? You can also call it a lower bounce rate. But links are not dead and will not die. The game has changed on us, though, so let's talk about this. Let's throw out the term, I would love to throw out the term link building. Don't think about it as building links, right? Going and doing outreach and kind of slogging through a lot of cold emails trying to get someone to link to your website. It's annoying. It's manual. I hate doing manual things. If you automate it, then it's less effective. You're pissing off webmasters. They're annoyed with you. So let's stop talking about link building because bad links equal time. So this is a site I worked on years ago. This is at the beginning of my time. This is about 2010 when I got my first full-time job in SEO. And I'll be straight up, we were buying a lot of links and a lot of exact match anchor text links. Haven't done it since then, but it worked really, really well for quite a while. And if anyone here knows SEO, what happened right there? That was the first Penguin update. They lost literally 75% of their traffic overnight. And this was a huge revenue generating machine. And then they recovered it a little bit, and then there's another Penguin, and they've never really recovered, right? They're at, 20% of what they had before. So even if you're doing cleanup, et cetera, this can screw you for a long, long time. The links that count are the links that get clicked. And And that's a pretty steady increase right there. That's actually my own site, just increasing constantly, number of links coming into us. Traffic is going about the same. So I have a couple things that I want to share with you that if anyone's tweeting this, don't tweet this. These days, the links that really matter to your site are the top 10 links into your page. In the past, people have gone for volume. I just need more links. And that Google has seen that as being manipulative. People will be like, I'm just going to slam a lot of links, low-quality pages, low-quality domains going to this page, and it's going to help me rank. That's become much less effective over the last number of years, and really what Google looks at is the top 10 links coming into that page as compared to your competitors. So that's what you need to be focusing on these days, looking for higher authority, higher quality, also relevant to your page. Those are the links that matter. Volume doesn't matter nearly as much as it used to. Also, Google associates topics with your brand. If you've been reading anything about SEO over the last number of years, and my buddy Kevin Indig, who's here in the audience somewhere, I think he's there in the back, he's going to be talking about AI and machine learning as it relates to SEO later in the day, so he'll probably be talking about entities and topics as opposed to keywords. So I was having beers with a Googler a month and a half ago. They confirmed to me that if you do a big press push around a new product or something like that, right? Let's call it Blue Widgets. You previously haven't sold widgets. You do a big press push. They're seeing your brand and Blue Widgets being talked about in the same articles across the internet. They're going to start associating Blue Widgets with your brand, and you're going to start ranking better for Blue Widgets, even if you don't have any links pointing to your Blue Widgets page. That's pretty crazy. So think about how your brand is being associated with others. And this is also with other terms, the terms that you want to rank for. So if you can get a link, great. You absolutely should be trying to get these links back. You mention somewhere and they're talking about your new Blue Widgets product, great. Ask them to link back to you. But there are other reasons why this is going to be good for you as well. 3 great ways to build great links. I'm not talking about going and manually reaching out to people here necessarily, asking them to link back to your page because it's going to be relevant for their users, though that can work. But 3 ways to build great links. That I want you all to think creatively about how do you build links into your site using content that's going to build your brand. Unique data that you can show in different ways. Storytelling, telling your company's story differently, and making friends with others in your niche. Business is all about who you know. I've gotten most of my links from my friends that own websites in my same niche. It's been awesome. So you might be saying, I'm in a boring industry, but industries are only as boring as you make them. So think about what would be interesting to your customers. What's the factor, I hadn't thought about that before factor. So I have 2 examples for you. One is run a survey and make it public. I did a survey about 18 months ago, surveyed around 200 SEO and digital marketing agencies and consultants. That chart I showed you at the beginning was from that. I basically found the average hourly rate, single project, and monthly retainer project that they do across the sizes of these of agencies. So you search digital marketing pricing, how much does a marketing company cost? I rank number 1. I put time into this, and then the industry loved it. And yeah, these are some of the terms that I rank for. I think this thing ranks for like over 200 terms. That's straight money in the bank, right? It's informational, gets them started there, and then I can take them down into an email list and then convert them in. Or find a non-public data source. This is an example from when I worked at HotPads. This is literally a Google map that I put together. I hacked it together in a Google Sheet and displayed it on a Google map and embedded it in a blog post. This was in 2014 when rents were just skyrocketing across. I lived in San Francisco at the time. It was super expensive. I think rents went up in like the main part of Oakland by 24% in 1 year. It's insane. And so everyone was talking about how rents how the pace of building was not keeping up with rents. So I used ALN data as a data source we had access to, and I visualized it because they weren't doing anything with it, and told a story, right? I showed how different cities across the nation were building to keep up with this demand. It wasn't pretty, it wasn't sexy. It got links. I got links from every single curbed outlet, LA, San Francisco, Washington, DC, New York, you name it. We got links from today.com for doing things like this. That one actually, it was when House of Cards was relaunching. And sorry for any of you that haven't watched House of Cards, but Frank Underwood was moving into the White House, and so they were selling their place. And so we put up Frank Underwood's apartment or house in New York up for rent on our site. And we got links from today.com and sites like that. So it built a flywheel. This sort of stuff built a flywheel. I made friends with the editor-in-chief at Curb. She emailed all of her editors. They were all emailing me, asking me when I was going to do one for their city so that they could write something about it. builds a flywheel, and it works. So quick, tell the story differently. I showed you Butterbean earlier. This is him. I love that dog. He was tired after hiking there. So Butterbean got me highlighted in a cannabis industry magazine. Weirdest press I've ever gotten is also my favorite. I live in Colorado. It's legal there. They were writing I saw on Help a Reporter Out, Haro, that they were looking for people who had stories about using CBD dog treats on their dogs. My dog is super anxious in the car. It's the Great Dane in him. So we started giving him CBD dog treats, which are completely safe. And so I emailed her, and of course, 100-pound black lab named Butterbean, kind of ridiculous. We got mentioned in one of the biggest cannabis industry magazines. I didn't get links, unfortunately. So I'm out of time, but I'll run through this real quick. Other things you can do to improve your traffic, improve your business, improve your bounce rate. People bounce less, they're going to buy more. Don't improve your conversions. You lose about 7% of sales per additional second of load. This is because SEO and page speed affects SEO. 3 ways to do this that I have in there. Those are the tools. And then focus on your top visited and converting pages. So to recap real quick, get your foundation solid. Don't buy a house with a cracked foundation. Research and create content that meets your potential customers' needs across transactional and informational. Promote that content and earn links back to your site. And then finally, make your users happier with a fast site to spin that flywheel even faster. Thank you.